Today on Public Eye News, Mackinac Bridge remains closed due to falling ice, and a teen falls to death from a Florida amusement park ride.
Later, I will have your weather, and Scott Minshaw will have your sports. Hi, I'm Caden Minus.
And I'm Susanna Gwynn, and this is Public Eye News. Starting off in Michigan, the Mackinac Bridge remains closed to all traffic due to safety concerns over ice falling from the cables and towers. While closing the bridge creates inconvenience, falling ice can drop more than 300 feet from the top of the bridge and are large enough to damage vehicles or cause injuries. Unfortunately, it is not known for how long the bridge closure will last. Mackinac County 911 will send text updates when the bridge reopens to all traffic. The Michigan DOT will also post on Facebook and Twitter with any updates regarding the bridge. And in cooperation with Lime Great Lakes Timberlands, the Michigan DNR has purchased more than 100 miles of snowmobile easements in Marquette and Baraga counties. 8 of the trail miles will be allotted as multi-use trails, which include off-road vehicles. The rest of the trails will be reserved for snowmobile use only. The sale price of $1.8 million was from the DNR's Permanent Snowmobile Easement Fund. The new trails will add more than 6,500 miles of snowmobile trails managed by the DNR and various snowmobile clubs, with about half of those trail miles located in the UP.
And Michigan's Supreme rejected a challenge by Democratic-aligned groups to a new map for state House seats. The group claimed that the current map favors Republicans, which goes against the state's constitution provision that says no party shall have a disproportionate advantage in redistricting. The court ruled 5-2 that it would not get involved. And in 2018, voters created a 13-member commission to make maps for seats in Congress and the legislature, taking the work out of the hands of the politicians. And Minneapolis teachers reached a tentative agreement early Friday to end a 2-week strike over pay and other issues that idled about 29,000 students and around 4,500 teachers and staff members. The Union for Teachers and Support Staff announced that it achieved what it sought when members walked off the job March 8. And the union plans to release the details later today, and ratification votes are expected this weekend. Superintendent Ed Graff said he is looking forward to having students and staff back to school on Monday. Graff has declined to give details about the contract, but it believes that it's fair to staff. And there's new research on a treatment for depression that might surprise you. An ingredient found in so-called magic mushrooms may have long-lasting benefits after just a few doses. Bradley Blackburn has the story.
M. Hanchek suffers from a type of depression that's treatment-resistant, still experiencing symptoms after years of therapy and medications.
I was in a rut, and no matter what I tried, things did not really improve beyond a certain point.
In 2019, Hanchek joined a study at Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine, testing a psychedelic drug called psilocybin to treat depression. It's the same compound found in so-called magic mushrooms.
One of the curious features about these drugs, I would say it's the signature feature, is they produce experiences that have huge embedded personal meaning.
Psilocybin's medical potential was studied in the 60s until concerns about abuse shut down research. Dr. Roland Griffiths helped restart experiments and found that 2 doses of psilocybin in a controlled environment, along with therapy, reduced or even eliminated depression for most patients for up to a year after treatment.
You are able to, access thoughts and feelings.
Dr. Griffiths believes psilocybin could be an important alternative because for some, antidepressants are not effective enough, have to be taken every day, and have side effects.
Many people end up failing or relapsing with those compounds.
Hanchek is still in therapy but no longer takes medication.
The texture has kind of returned to the world, and that is just an incredible experience.
A promising new treatment that's not magic, but rooted in science. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
And don't touch that dial. After this break, we will be back with your weather and national news.
On the next Great Lakes Now, we need more research into Great Lakes winters, but it isn't easy.
Winter is a time of year when it's challenging to get out on the water and we don't have as much information about the ecosystem.
Ice Fishers watch as winter shrinks.
It's a shame that we have less and less ice, and I'm afraid it's going to continue to happen.
And skating on wild ice.
Now I get super excited. All right, we got to go here, we got to go here.
Tune in Sunday afternoon at 3:30.
Welcome back to Public Eye News. Once again, I am Caden Minus, and behind me is NMU's campus. A lot of green out there as the snow is starting to melt, but looking at our current conditions, it is currently mostly sunny with a temperature of 45 and winds to the southeast at 5 miles an hour. And the barometric pressure is at a 29.51 and falling. Now looking around the UP, in Sault Ste. Marie it is 39 and partly cloudy. In Manistique it is 41 and sunny. In Escanaba it is also sunny with a temperature of 41. And in Menominee it is 43 and sunny. Now looking on the other side, it is currently 43 and partly cloudy in Iron Mountain. In Ironwood it is 32 and snow. And in Houghton, it is 39 and cloudy. And back in Marquette, it is mostly sunny with a 45 degrees. And now looking towards tonight, it is cloudy with a low of 34 and winds to the northwest at 17 miles per hour. And looking towards tomorrow, there will be snow showers with a high of 27 and a low of 12 with the winds to the northwest at 25 miles per hour. Now looking towards that week ahead, on Sunday, it will be a high of 18 and a low of 12 and cloudy. On Monday, it will be a high of 25, a low of 15 and partly cloudy. And on Tuesday, it will also be partly cloudy with a high of 33 and a low of 26. And now back to Suzanne with your national and international news.
And shifting back to the U.S., in Florida, a 14-year-old boy tragically fell to his death from an amusement park ride at Icon Park Entertainment Complex in Orlando. Local authorities responded Thursday to Free Fall, a ride which holds 30 passengers and rises in the air 430 feet before tilting on its face and free falling to the ground at more than 75 miles per hour. The ride is equipped with shoulder harnesses, and no previous issues with the ride have been reported since it opened in December of last year. The Florida Department of Agriculture, which oversees most amusement park ride inspections, has launched an investigation. No foul play is suspected. And across the world, hundreds of people comb through the forested hills of southern China for the second flight recorder from a jetliner that crashed with more than 130 people on board. The China Eastern Airline Boeing 737-800 dived into the mountains area Friday before catching on fire. Unfortunately, no survivors have been found. However, engine parts and human remains have been received, along with one black box recorder found on Wednesday. Local news reports have identified both the pilot and co-pilot as veterans in the aviation industry. And President Biden arrived in Poland Friday as he continues his trip to Europe to meet with allies and coordinate the response to Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Skylar Henry has more with details from the White House.
President Biden met with soldiers from the 82nd Airborne Friday in Poland. He enjoyed some lighthearted moments with soldiers lined up for haircuts. Thousands of U.S. soldiers are deployed to Poland to protect the NATO member from any potential Russian attack.
We've got 100,000 American forces here in Europe. We haven't had that in a long, long time because we are the organizing principle for the rest of the world. And I said, we've sent the best.
He also got a briefing on the humanitarian crisis caused by the war in Ukraine.
Part of my disappointment is that I can't see it firsthand like I have in other places. They will not let me, understandably, I guess it, cross the border and take a look at what's going on in Ukraine.
Early Friday morning, the president and the European Union announced a new joint task force designed to wean Europe off of Russian energy, which the president says is necessary to cripple Russia's military.
Putin has issued Russia's energy resources to coerce and manipulate its neighbors. That's how he's used it. He's used the profits to drive his war machine.
We are determined to stand up against Russia's brutal war. This war will be a strategic failure for Putin.
Ukrainian forces on the ground have made some advances in their latest counterattack, clawing back some land near Kyiv, including the suburban city of Irpin. But Russia has made some wins in southern Ukraine, which will make it easier to shore up its supply chain problems. Ukraine says Russia has gained enough ground around the besieged city of Mariupol that it now has a supply corridor connecting the Crimean region to Russian-controlled areas of eastern Ukraine. Skylar Henry, CBS News, the White House.
And don't go away because after this break, Scott will have your sports.
Coming up on Bands of Enchantment, Max Gomez.
Right where a little can mean a lot. The fresh air and the open space of Taos and here in Tucumcari is something that you don't get in the big city.
Oh, if I could rule the world. Yeah, if I could.
Saturday night at midnight on WNMU TV.
Well, the Michigan Tech Huskies fell yesterday to the University of Minnesota Duluth Bulldogs in the opening round of the NCAA tournament. The Huskies were the clear underdogs in the game as Minnesota Duluth was ranked in the second seed in the entire tournament. And they are also coming off of 3 straight Frozen Four appearances. Michigan Tech's task was made even harder when the star player and Hobie Baker Award finalist Brian Hallinan was ejected from the game for a checking from behind penalty. The Bulldogs' win sends them to the regional final, which will be played tomorrow against the University of Denver. And the madness continues in the basketball world as we saw Kentucky get knocked out in the first round of the March Madness tournament. And down goes number 1 now. Gonzaga, for the second year in a row as a number 1 seed, fell short of winning it all. Arkansas won 74-68, led by JT Notia's 21 points, beating potential number 1 draft pick in the NBA, Chet Holmgren. Holmgren is the second 5-star high school recruit to go to Gonzaga. Jalen Suggs being the 5-star on last year's team, but neither of them were able to capture a national title. Arkansas has had a great season now, being 28-8 on the year, and their title hopes will clash in the Elite 8 against Coach K and Duke tomorrow at 7:49 in San Francisco, California. And as the conflict in Ukraine continues, the reach of the effects continue to spread and show themselves in all aspects of life, far and wide. This week, for the first time in history, a major figure skating event took place without a single Russian competitor. The World Figure Skating Championships held in France showed solidarity for Ukraine by displaying flags and Ukrainian colors all over their event. And they followed suit of a countless number of other sporting events and leagues by banning Russian athletes from competition. Well, that's all I have for the sports world, Caden. It sounds like there might be some blazes going on around the country in other areas.
Yes, there is, Scott. A blaze torched several rows of seats at the Denver Broncos Stadium on Thursday. Firefighters were able to quickly extinguish the blaze, which occurred in a construction zone, and were trying to determine if it had spread to other parts of the stadium. About 75 firefighters were on the scene, and no injuries were reported. And the inventor of the popular short video format, the GIF, Stephen Wilhite, has died at 74. In an interview, his wife Kathleen said he died of COVID on March 14. Wilhite won a Webby Lifetime Achievement Award in 2013 for creating the GIF, and Kathleen Wilhite said her husband loved trains and never stopped programming.
Well, we have a quick update on you for the Mackinac Bridge story earlier. After being closed for hours due to falling ice, the Mackinac Bridge is now open. However, the Bridge Authority has just issued a high wind warning and is urging all motorists to reduce their speeds to just 20 miles per hour while crossing the bridge. But in other news right here around Marquette, Caden, do you know this weekend at the Superior Dome right here on Northern Michigan's campus, we have the RV Boat and Sports Show going on?
Indeed I do. The dome is full of anything from ATVs to boats to RVs to kayaks, canoes, anything like that.
Absolutely, all types of stuff. Tickets are $6 at the door, $5 for seniors 65 and over, $5 for kids 6 to 12 years old, and those kids who are 6 and under will get into the show for free. Another added bonus is the parking is also free all weekend for the spectacular event being put on by great local companies such as Downwind Sports right here in Marquette. So if you're a supporter of local businesses in the local community, make sure to get out to the show and support Marquette business. Well, that is all the time we have for you here today on Public Eye News. On behalf of Susanna Gwynn, I'm Scott Minshaw.
And I'm Caden Minus.
Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you Monday for another edition of Public Eye News.
The preceding program was produced by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television, in studios located in Elizabeth and Edgar Hardin Hall.